Hi, this is Matt from Cicadastone. Uh, what else would you like me to say again? So I'll do it again.
Um, just introduce yourself, introduce the band, give the EP a bit of a plug, so when it's
Okay.
down stuff.
Cool. All right. Hi, this is Matt from Cicadastone. We have a new EP, acoustic EP coming out now, and we're very excited, and I'm excited to be here.
Beautiful, mate. Thanks for joining us today, brother.
Thanks a lot.
My pleasure. So, as you say, you release your new EP, Future Echoes Acoustic, this Friday, which I believe will be the 31st, is it?
The 30th, it
30th.
is, yeah.
30th of August, mate. So, how are you feeling about it?
It's exciting because it wasn't really like a planned thing. It was kind of like more of an afterthought. So it's I guess the pressure of putting together a recording um and focusing on something. It's been a lot more. It's more of like it's already a win because it exists. It doesn't really matter how it turned out. I mean, it turned out great, but it really wasn't even going to be a thing, and it just kind of became a thing. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah. And the EP features 5 songs taken from the album Future Echoes that came out back in May, mate. So why decide
That's
to
right.
release the songs acoustically? What's the thought process there?
Well, the label, it was actually their idea. They thought it would be great to help promote the album, and aside from that, the songs themselves, usually when I write songs, the initial concepts of any song is generally on an acoustic guitar sitting on the couch, so they usually translate pretty well. Um, and that's the case here, like we picked 5 songs off the record, and it wasn't really hard to just work out what to do with them because they all kind of lend to an acoustic guitar quite well.
Now there's 12 songs on the full album and 5 you've chosen for the acoustic one. So what was the elimination process, I guess, with the songs? Did there something that were too hard or something you liked more than others?
No, I don't even think there was a process. It was more very organic, It was just what popped into my mind and what we felt worked naturally. Some songs I didn't even consider because it just didn't pop into my mind, but the ones that did, the ones that we ch chose are the ones that did. So and I think there's a couple of obvious ones. I think this Hurricane lent to be an acoustic track very very obviously, but then Whisper to My Lonely Self was not. Well, I don't think it would be one that you would consider naturally, but you gave it a shot and it works. So it works with a bit of tweaking, like anything.
Yeah, true. So we'll talk about the actual album for a second, like Future Echoes. Like it's your third album, bro. So how was it received by the fans?
I think it's gone down well. We've had a lot of good feedback from, people online and in general and at gigs and just anywhere really. Um, I know that we've had a few really good reviews. One review in particular calling it our best record, and I think it's our best record. I think, for each album you try and raise the bar, you try and better yourself, and um, if others can see that, I think that's really good because that's definitely what we try to do.
Yeah. And do you think people that like that album are gonna like these songs acoustic, or because a lot of rock people are pretty narrow minded when it comes to their
Yeah.
music? Do you think they're gonna appreciate it?
Uh, I hope so. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. I'd like them to. It's 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 there if they want it, I guess we live in the world of content these days, so
Yeah.
you want to really look at it like that, it's content. I'd like to think it's more than content, but if you really want to be black and white about it, it's content. Yeah, and if guys that love big guitar riffs put it on and enjoy it, then great. And
So
girls.
something like this, like is it aimed at existing fans, or is an acoustic album like this aimed at newer fans? I guess.
I reckon both
Yeah.
because anyone who's seen us knows me and Mark from Cicada Stone, we haven't done it in a long time, but there was a while there we were doing a lot of just acoustic duo Cicada Stone gigs around town just to kind of fill in gaps, and so people who would come to it watch us would get a sort of a good idea of how we approach our songs acoustically. Um, but as for new anyone hearing it for the first time, I mean, maybe someone will hear it for the first time before they hear the band, and then they might hear the band and go hear the album and kind of it might be the opposite. It might be
Yeah.
the reverse, They might go, wow, I didn't expect to hear it all rocked up like that,
Yeah, it's true. All right, man. So there's 5 songs on the EP, bro. So I want to run through each of them individually and tell us a
So,
bit more about the song and how you deconstructed it, then reconstructed it again acoustically. So we'll start with the first track, which is "Burn Your Name."
oh yeah, so Burn Your Name, Burn Your Name on the album has a lot of acoustic through it. So that was a real obvious one. And I guess the idea was some songs we re-recorded drums and some we didn't have any drums. This one we did and we kept it pretty, I guess structure-wise, pretty much to the same structure as the album. We just changed the dynamic flow of the songs. Obviously, it's going to change because when you're playing with brushes, the impact's different. So we really did. That one was quite simple. That was very much set and forget. The bass followed the same paths. We just stripped back some of the vocals because on the album there's some overdubs and some double tracking. In fact, we did that with all of it. We stripped the vocals right back to just two vocals, which is what it really should be.
Yeah, sweet. All right, the next one is the title track, "Future Echoes."
Yeah, so Future Echoes, I'm trying to think. I don't think we had any drums on that one. We just stripped it back to an acoustic guitar and two vocals and a little bit of percussion as well. Just to keep it interesting and light and different, but again, the order of the song, I think we just cut a few little spots where I felt it was just dragging a bit because you haven't got a big band behind you to
Mm.
sort of keep it interesting.
Yeah. Okay, then you got "Shadows in an Empty Room."
Yeah, so this one we did actually do a fair bit. We brought the drums in. Again, there were drums on this track, and we brought them in a different spot. And on the album, they come in at the start, and then on this sort of guitars that you have on the album, back to just a couple of guitars, and the same with the vocal process. It was very much um, as live as it could be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And "This Hurricane" is next.
Yeah. So this hurricane, I'm just trying to think now. This hurricane had drums, and again, it was the order of this song was pretty much stuck to the same as the album. Um, some of the guitar work was there was a couple of little guitar lines I think on this one that we reworked a bit to suit the acoustic guitar. Actually, it was the same with Burn Your Name. A couple of guitar lines that we reworked a little bit that we had like electric guitars bending notes and stuff. And on these songs, we sort of just played the notes a little more simply, just to give it a much more of a organic live feel.
Mhm. And then it's rounded off by the track "Whisper to My Lonely Self." Very cool title too, by the way. I like that.
Oh, yeah, thanks. Yeah, so this one again, we opted to. It's funny because it's a big rock song, but then we didn't have drums on this one. We just kept it to like shakers and percussion and uh and and I think we ended up cutting the intro and cutting the outro because on the album it's quite a long epic song. It fades out, so we ended up cutting that stuff and keeping it so the song ended with a chord,
Yeah,
if you know what I
yeah.
mean. Which is great. It's a really different approach, and it's a nice way to end the EP, I think.
Wait. Now, Cicadastone's music is essentially 90s grunge influence with a fresh modern edge to it. That's how it's described, mate. So
Oh,
can you run us through that fresh modern side? Like how do you modernize music like that?
I don't know, but I think it is. I think it's modern.
Mm. But
How do you modernize it? I don't know how you modernize it. You could modernize it with modern production techniques.
yeah.
Recording a lot of those records from the 90s that I love were all recorded to tape and recorded and it's in a different time, obviously. We're recording everything digitally. So there's definitely a cleaner production to what we're doing, which is good and bad. Um, as for songwriting, I really don't know. I can't answer that. I think you write what you like, and if people think it's modern, it is. If they don't, they think it's modern, then it's not.
Sure. So over the years, though, bro, like a lot of the bands from that era, a lot of bands that are influenced by that music have all fallen by the wayside. Like, why do you think Cicadastone succeeded where others have failed?
As in, you mean like on the local scene?
I just in general, mate. Like, you guys are still going, you're still pumping out records. Like a lot of bands that have got their roots in grunge, just people fall off from. It's a dying trend. But you guys keep
I
pumping
think,
it.
yeah, I think it's because we don't have an agenda. We're not answering to anyone. Well, I guess we have a label, but they'll let us do our own thing. We're not on any time frame. When you release a record, you do want it to help push the band forward, and I think each record does that a little bit. But ultimately, we're still here because we want to be, and we're not trying to impress anyone. We do it because we love it, and if people like it and want to come along for the ride, then awesome.
You know, mate. Well, before I let you go, mate, I've started up a new little fun segment to finish interviews off with. I've gone through
Yeah.
and I've dug up a couple of photos from the internet about the band. I'm going to chuck them on my big screen, and I
Okay,
want you to give us a bit of a story behind them and tell us what's going on.
sure.
So the first one I've dug up is this one. You got a rather famous person with you.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to remember where that was. That was Wednesday 13, I think, at the
Yeah.
Corner Hotel. Yeah. I missed that photo shoot. We did an acoustic, funny enough, acoustic support with Wednesday 13 at the Corner Hotel, I don't know, about 6 years ago. And it was an awesome, awesome gig. I didn't even know who it was.
Yeah.
So
Right.
like when we got the gig, we were offered the gig, and I was like, I said to Tommy, our bass player, who is actually in that photo, I said, I go, who's this? Got just offered a gig to do this support for this Wednesday 13. I said, do you want to do that? And he just jumped out of his skin. He's like, yeah, let's do that gig. I'm like, all right. So we did that gig, and yes, an amazing artist, and the
Very nice bloke, too,
yeah,
isn't he?
lovely, lovely guy.
Lovely guy. All right. And the last one I've got for you is this one. What the
Yeah.
fuck? What's going on?
Band meeting. Uh, Christmas. That was Christmas. I forget which year, but I look pretty concerned there. I think it was like a last catch up of the year before everyone was going to bugger off and do their own thing. And it was just like a catch up really. It was at the that joint in St Kilda, the Vineyard in St Kilda, that one.
Okay. Geez, I'd like to see you a couple of hours after that, mate. It's a bit chirpy there.
Yeah, yeah, actually it wasn't too bad that night.
Very good, mate. All right, bro. Well, thanks for your time, mate. Future Echoes Acoustic is out this Friday, August the 30th. And
Yeah,
it's a typical Cicada Stone stuff, but stripped back, raw and emotional. And it's, yeah, really good work, brother. So
thank you so much.
congratulations. I hope it does well.